Welcome to another Walter Football video. I'm Charlie Campbell, Senior Draft Analyst. I get right into this week's mock. Click the settings below, speed it up to 1.5 or 1.25. I think that makes these videos a lot better. So into this week's mock, first pick Jets, Trevor Lawrence, no-brainer. If they land the first pick, take Lawrence. Trade Sam Darnold to another team, get maybe some second-day picks for him or a second-round pick maybe, and then you end up having another piece to build around Trevor Lawrence. But that's a no-brainer for the Jets at number 1 overall. Number 2 overall, we got the Redskins. I have them taking Justin Fields, the quarterback from Ohio State. I think the writing is on the wall there in Washington that you can see that Ron Rivera and Scott Turner just really aren't sold on Dwayne Haskins. They gave him a pretty quick hook in the grand scheme of things here. And so I think that they wouldn't pass on a top quarterback prospect. So Fields to the Redskins. 3rd overall, I have the Giants taking Jamar Chase. This is an interesting pick because I think if you're the Giants, you have to weigh 2 considerations here. One, Jamar Chase, number 1 receiver for Daniel Jones. That would be a huge upgrade to their offense. Having Jones and a healthy Saquon Barkley could be really fun to watch for Giants fans and really difficult for defenses to defend. Now, that's one consideration. Second consideration, trading down for perhaps with a team that's looking to get Trey Lance, the North Dakota State quarterback, and getting, a plethora of picks to help rebuild that roster at a few different spots. But then you're going to lose out on Jamar Chase. So that's going to be a tough decision for the Giants. And I'm not projecting trades, so I have the Giants taking Chase. 4th overall pick, I have the Falcons taking Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. I think if Atlanta's picking this high, they're obviously in a rebuild. They already started it by firing Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff. So the new regime could come in with the age of Matt Ryan being in his mid-30s, approaching the back half of his 30s here. Before too long, they're going to have to take his replacement. So if you take the guy now, then you can have him sit behind Ryan for a year, or you trade Ryan to a contender, maybe get an early round pick for him, and then you end up having another piece to build around the new quarterback. But the rebuilding process has started in Atlanta. 5th overall pick, the Jaguars. I have them taking Penei Sewell, the left tackle from Oregon. It's not the biggest need on the team, but Sewell's just the best value here, hands down. And Cam Robinson, their starting left tackle, is entering free agency. They could move on from A.J. Cann as well, their guard, one of their guards. So if you take an offensive lineman like Sewell, even if Cam Robinson comes back, you could slide Robinson or Juwan Taylor, someone into guard, and put Sewell on the edge, and now you really have a talented offensive line. But maybe Cam Robinson leaves, in which case that's a huge hole that has to be fixed, so Sewell would make sense. 6th overall pick, Vikings. I have them taking Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle from Alabama. Minnesota could use some youth on the inside of that defensive line. He'd give them an interior pass rusher and disruptor that I think would really help the Vikings defense. 7th overall pick, I have the Dolphins taking Gregory Rousseau. Emmanuel Ogbah has been a really nice signing for Miami. I think that was that he's played better than even they could have expected. We'll see if he can string it for the whole season. But at any rate, I think they could use another edge rusher, put a guy next to Christian Wilkins, make it really tough to do double teams on one side of the offensive line there, have that defensive line really getting after the quarterback. So Rousseau to Miami. 8th overall pick, I have the Chargers taking Carlos Basham, the defensive end from Wake Forest. I think Basham would be a really good fit in that scheme there in Los Angeles. Melvin Ingram, I don't think he's going to be on the team a whole lot longer. And with all the money they paid Joey Bosa, you're going to need another edge rusher to go across from Bosa to make it difficult for teams to do double teams. And you really don't want to have to sink another big contract into that position. You want to spread those resources around the team. So if you take a rookie who's going to be cheap for 5 years and you get a first-round talent there across from Bosa, that could really make a lot of sense for the Chargers defense. So I have them taking Basham 8th overall. 9th overall pick, I have the Eagles taking Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State. The Eagles linebackers have been terrible. Parsons would be a plug-and-play upgrade. 10th overall pick, I have the Bengals taking Alex Leatherwood, left tackle from Alabama. I thought he played really well against Georgia last week. That was his first really significant test of this season. Aside from a play or two, I thought he did really well overall. So he could be that left tackle upgrade that the Bengals need to protect Joe Burrow. And then Jonah Williams with his versatility, and Leatherwood's versatile as well. So you're going to upgrade your line at 2 spots because you could slide Jonah Williams to guard or right tackle, maybe even center. Some teams thought that Williams center would have been his best position in the NFL. So that's really going to build up the line in front of Joe Burrow by upgrading 2 spots by taking one player there in Alex Leatherwood. 11th overall pick, I have the Lions taking Andre Sisco, the safety from Syracuse. They could use a playmaker. He's a ball hawk, game-changing presence on the back end in the middle of the field, versatile, where you could play him at strong safety, free safety, be an interchangeable guy, make it difficult for offenses pre-snap and post-snap as to what he's going to do. 12th overall pick, I have the Patriots taking Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver from Alabama, just a playmaker. Could be another Tyreek Hill, and the Patriots really need that kind of big play threat in their offense. 13th overall pick, I have the Broncos taking Sam Cosmi, the left tackle from Texas. He would be an upgrade in pass protection over Garrett Bowles. Cosmi's a really good athlete, needs to get stronger, but that's something that can happen in a pro strength and conditioning program. 14th overall pick, I have the Dolphins taking Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson. Miami could use an upgrade in the backfield. I think Etienne would be a great fit in their offense. He'd give Tua a nice check down option, a guy that can turn check downs into big plays, just a speed back that really can make game-changing plays anytime he touches the ball. So Etienne to the Dolphins. 15th overall pick, I have the Panthers taking Patrick Surtain II. Surtain would be a big cornerback to go on the outside, give them a talented young trio with Dante Jackson and Troy Pride. So the Carolina needs that kind of number one corner, that big number one corner on the outside. Surtain could be that. 16th overall pick, I have the 49ers taking Paris Ford, the safety from Pitt. Really nice player, a little undersized, but tough and physical, ball hawk, instinctive, really fun player to watch, good tackler. He'd really fit well in that 49ers defense and kind of the attitude they foster at that team. 17th overall pick, I have the Saints taking Devontae Smith, the wide receiver from Alabama. I think that'd be a great fit for New Orleans. Give them a really good number 2 receiver to go with Michael Thomas. Smith is so polished, such an excellent route runner, great hands, run after the catch ability. He'd just be a phenomenal number 2 in the NFL. 18th overall, I have the Raiders taking Dylan Moses, the linebacker from Alabama. They could use more talent in the middle of that defense. They could also use a pass rusher, but there really aren't good options available here in the first round, so Moses would be the best option to fit one of their needs with a talented player, so he would definitely upgrade the middle of that defense. 19th overall, I have the Cowboys taking Shaun Wade, the cornerback from Ohio State. I think Wade, this will be an interesting year for him. Let's see how he does if he's lining up on the outside as a replacement for Damon Arnett or Jeff Okudah. He's shown he can play in the slot, can play safety as well, so versatile player. If he has a big year, he could really skyrocket, and I think the Cowboys really, aside from linebacker, maybe edge rusher, should just take the best defensive player available to them, and in this case it's Wade. 20th overall pick, I have the Browns taking Javon Holland, the safety from Oregon. Another great ball-hawking safety from this draft class, a little undersized but fast, instinctive, free safety, could be a nice tandem with Grant Delpit. 21st overall, I have the Bucs taking Jay Tafule, the defensive tackle from USC. Similar to the Chargers pick of Basham, where the Bucs are going to pay Vita Vea big money before too long here. Then you also have Ndamukong Suh being near the end of his career, playing on one-year deals. So Tafule would kind of give them that cheaper 5-year answer to that issue. but would save some money in terms of not paying another high-priced veteran to go next to Vea. So Tafule and Vea would be a nice tandem for the Bucs, give them some strength, speed, and versatility on the inside of their defensive line. 22nd overall, I have the Colts taking Caleb Farley, the cornerback from Virginia Tech. Corner's a position that Indianapolis could stand to upgrade. Farley would be a really nice fit in that defense. 23rd overall, I have the Jaguars taking J.C. Horn, the cornerback from South Carolina, son of Joe Horn, the former Saints Pro Bowl receiver. Really excellent game last week for South Carolina, shutting down Seth Williams, getting 2 picks, breaking up a bunch of passes. Horn has got good size and length and speed to run the route and prevent separation. Really nice player. And the Jaguars secondary is awful outside of C.J. Henderson. They really need to bring in multiple upgrades there. 24th overall, I have the Bills taking Paulson Adebo. They could use a corner to go with Tre'Davious White. Josh Norman's not a long-term answer at this point of his career, so Adebo could be that guy. 25th overall, I have the Cardinals taking Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida. DeAndre Hopkins is going to continue to demand a lot of extra coverage, and with Larry Fitzgerald slowing down, I think the Cardinals could use one more big receiver, and Pitts is just such a versatile, dynamic weapon in terms of what you can do. I think he'd be a really nice, intriguing player to put into Cliff Kingsbury's offense there. So Pitts to the Cardinals. 26th overall of the Packers taking Jalen Mayfield, the right tackle from Michigan. They need more young offensive line talent. The way that that offense has looked when they've had some injuries up front, it really changes things. Obviously, they got to keep Aaron Rodgers healthy, and beyond that, they need to have some young talent on that offensive line for when they turn it over to Jordan Love. So definitely, I think that getting some more weapons for Love at receiver and more blocking for him up front has to be part of the long-term plan for Green Bay. 27th overall, I have the Chiefs taking Wyatt Davis, the guard from Ohio State. I think Kansas City could use some youth on the inside of that offensive line. Obviously, they have a huge investment in Pat Mahomes, so it would make sense to continue to build up that blocking talent in front of him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 28th overall, I have the Ravens taking Richard LeCounte, the safety from Georgia. Really nice player, good instincts, ball skills, versatile. Would be a good replacement for Earl Thomas. 29th overall, I have the Bears taking Trey Hill, the center guard from Georgia. He's played really well this year, tough and strong at the point of attack. Had some issues with Christian Barmore from Alabama, but he also is a center that can block tackles one-on-one, and you don't see too many of those these days with all these undersized kind of centers that are in that 6'3", 300 range, whereas Trey Hill's 6'4", 330. So he has the size of a guard. He can handle tackles one-on-one. Really nice player. I think he's kind of being a bit underrated here. 30th overall, I like the Steelers to take Tyson Campbell, the cornerback from Georgia. I think they're going to have to consider Joe Hayden's age. The injuries he's had over his career are going to, I think, catch up to him and slow him down as time goes by. So adding some youth at corner, I think, would make sense for Pittsburgh. 31, I have the Jets taking Chris Olave. This is the Jets pick from the Jamal Adams trade with the Seahawks, and they obviously need more wide receiver talent. The wide receivers there at the Jets are pitiful, so Olave would be a plug-and-play upgrade for New York. And 32nd overall, I have the Titans taking Joe Tryon, the edge rusher from Washington. Really nice player with upside, but does need more work and pass rushing moves. A little bit raw, needing some development, but I think he'd be a nice project for Mike Vrabel. The Titans could use some long-term pass rush, edge rush answers here, so getting one in the first round would make sense for them. So that's this week's mock. Check below. I have links to our prospect rankings, the mocks on walterfootball.com. Check out Walt's videos with Jacob on their picks. They're doing an amazing job this year, and they clip them up if you want to zero in on a game. So do us a favor and like our channel, subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it. We'd really appreciate it. And I'll be back with you guys soon.